Good afternoon, friends. Did you know tomorrow is Halloween? So today we are going to read a book called Pete the Cat, Trick or Pete. Here we go. It's Halloween. Pete the cat is excited to go trick-or-treating in his superhero costume. I hope nothing too spooky happens, says Pete. Let's see what's under the moon. A witch. Don't worry, says Pete's dad. We have our flashlights. Let's go trick-or-treating, says Pete. Boo! A spider! Pete and his dad walked outside. Whoosh! The wind rustles the leaves. Pete sees something moving in the trees. What is that? An owl. It's just an owl. That wasn't too spooky, says Pete. They arrive at a neighbor's house. Pete rings the bell. He hears a strange sound coming to the door. It's just Callie, Pete says. She's not too spooky. Callie joins Pete and his dad trick-or-treating. At the next house, there is something in the yard. What is that? Yeah, a scarecrow. Phew, it's just a scarecrow, says Pete. That's not too spooky. Pete rings the doorbell. Trick or treat, says Pete and Callie. Awesome costume, says Pete. Very spooky, but not too spooky. Thank you, says Miss Gold, the crossing guard. At the next house, there is something glowing on the steps. What could it be? Cool, says Pete. Jack-o'-lanterns. Callie rings the doorbell. Trick or treat, says Pete and Callie. It's Pete's teacher. One piece of candy each, she says. Suddenly, they hear something behind them. What was that? Asked Callie. Oh, it's just our friend Emma, says Pete. Not spooky, but groovy. You see Emma, the dog? What does the dog say? One last house and then we'll go home, says Pete's dad. Pete rings the bell. Ding dong. Yikes, it's a spooky ghost, screams Pete. What do you think it is? Don't be silly, Pete. It's just me, says Grandma. Callie and Pete get treats and hugs. Trick-or-treating wasn't too spooky at all. It was actually full of sweet surprises. Happy Halloween! Thank you for listening as I read Pete the Cat, Trick or Pete.